Hi folks, welcome to Dogs, Trains, Rail Reports, your trusted source for railroad news. We begin with exciting news out of Goshen, Virginia. Norfolk and Western 611 will be running excursions this fall. 611 will be pulling the Shenandoah Valley Limited on the Virginia Scenic Railway, owned and operated by Buckingham Branch. Excursions will start September 26, 2025 and run every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday through October 26th. There will be 2 daily excursions, one departing at 9 a.m. and another at 2:30 p.m. 611 will run at speeds around 40 to 25 miles per hour on 3.5-hour round trips out of Goshen. And in Cheyenne, Wyoming, Union Pacific Big Boy 4014 ran a few small excursions on July 17th and 19th. Big Boy will return to the rails in 2026 for the semi-quincentennial of the United States. Finally, in Bryson City, North Carolina, GSMR 1702 has returned with an interesting new paint scheme. This paint scheme features a silver smoke box and firebox, white striping on the wheels, pilot, running board, etc., and a plaque with a Cherokee-style arrow on the cab. Now for some steam locomotive restoration news. The T1 Trust has selected Denison, Ohio as the final assembly location for 5550. Denison, Ohio is 100 miles from Pittsburgh and 100 miles from Columbus. This made it a prime location for the Pennsylvania Railroad. In partnership with the Denison Railroad Museum, a grant was secured to build a new restoration shop. In early 2026, the shop will be complete and all the parts of 5550 will be moved to Denison to be assembled. As of January 2025, 5550 is 52.5% complete. Back at GSMR in Dillsboro, progress is being made on the restoration of Southern Railway 722. Strasburg Railroad Mechanical Services are working on some of the parts for 722. Driving boxes, firebox crown sheets, driver wheels, the throat sheet, parts of the boiler, and more have been restored or machined. A year ago, I posted a short showing the frame of the tender sitting on a sidetrack in Dillsboro. Turns out, GSMR had cut the frame loose from the coal bunker. The frame of 722's tender was placed on the sidetrack and the coal bunker was laying in the train yard. But now, both are gone. I would assume that 722's tender is currently being reassembled and restored. Restoration of 722 will be complete in early 2026. Also in Dillsboro, GSMR 1009 has officially been sold and shipped out, while a new locomotive, a former Santa Fe ex-BNSF GP50 number 3199, has arrived to become the newest engine on the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad roster. Special thanks to Clemson Pirate 7144 for bringing this to our attention. Heading north, RJD America purchased C&O 614 from Rowland back in 2024. 614 had been on display at the C&O Railway Heritage Center in Clifton Forge, Virginia. Once some good weather arrived, the 484 Greenbrier was pulled to Strasburg to begin restoration. As of August 2025, they are currently disassembling some parts of 614 for inspection. There is no solid date for when the restoration will be complete because they want to do things right the first time and avoid any trouble from rushing the project. On the topic of C&O 614, rail fans across the country are remembering the legacy of Ross E. Rowland Jr. Sadly, he passed away at the age of 85 on July 19, 2025. From the Freedom Train to C&O 614 to designing the proposed ACE 3000 to preserving famous steam locomotives and many more accomplishments, no singular person had a bigger impact on steam preservation than Ross Rowland. He will be remembered. And on a lighter note, 2026 is the 250th anniversary of the United States, and AFT 250 is preparing the American Freedom Train. Reading 2100 is being restored by the American Steam Railroad Preservation Organization to pull the Freedom Train through 48 states. 2100 will be renumbered 250 for the semi-quincentennial of America. Currently, the group is working to raise money to keep the project rolling, and they want everyone to spread the word. And in Concord, North Carolina, the Lionel Train's July release is out now in the form of a 23-page PDF. To my understanding, this isn't actually the 2025 Volume 2 catalog. In fact, this isn't even a catalog. This is just a special release and no hard copies of it will be printed. Lionel will be doing things differently for their 125th anniversary, so expect some more releases and exciting announcements. Now for some high-speed rail and passenger rail news. Over at Brightline West, geotechnical boring and soil sampling are underway. Heavy construction is likely to begin this fall. Check out my Brightline West animation right here on Dogs Trains. Now, Amtrak and the Northeast Corridor. The new Avalia Liberties are almost ready to enter service. They're still experiencing some minor issues, and Amtrak engineers are still training to drive them, but they should enter service by August 28, 2025. In Kearney, New Jersey, the Portal North Bridge is 80% complete. The new bridge is part of Amtrak's Gateway program to improve tracks and infrastructure on the Northeast Corridor. It will replace the original Portal Bridge that is over 114 years old and is really showing its age, as it's always getting stuck open or closed and catching fire multiple times. The new Portal North Bridge will be tall enough for ships to pass under it, trains will be able to run faster over it, and it won't spontaneously combust. In my opinion, improving the tracks and infrastructure is even better than getting a faster train. Heading across the country to Amtrak Cascades, the new Aero trains are rolling out of the Siemens Mobility plant in Sacramento, California. The Cascades Aero trains feature a, quote, Cascades Evergreen Cream and Mocha paint scheme with mountain range graphics on the side of each car. In other words, it's green, white, and brown. The interior is second to none, with wood-textured tables, large, comfortable seats with armrests, headrests, and a touch of Cascades green. Large windows allow for better views, lighting has been improved, and a list of amenities goes on and on. The Aero train sets feature a charger locomotive, cab car, and venture cars. The new Aero trains are being sent to Pueblo, Colorado for testing, and if all goes to plan, they'll enter service by 2026. Let's just hope they're not plagued with issues like the Chargers. More good news for Amtrak. The demand for train travel is growing, and they're hitting record ridership levels. From October 2023 to September 2024, Amtrak served 32.8 million passengers. This number is only expected to grow with the launch of the Aero trains, next-gen Acellas, infrastructure upgrades, and new services. Taking a look at Amtrak's state-supported services, specifically NC by train, they've seen an increase of over 55% from 2019 to 2024. It's great to see that more people are enjoying train travel. Turning now to Saluda NC, a trio of nonprofits including Conserving Carolina, Spartanburg PAL, and Upstate Forever have officially purchased the famous Saluda Grade to rip it out and replace it with a bike trail. The historic Saluda Grade is the steepest main line in the United States, with an average of 4% every 2.5 miles and a 5.1% max grade. The new rail trail will be a paved path for hikers, bikers, and anyone else. However, this purchase has led to some mixed reactions. Most locals in the vicinity of the rail trail are fine with it and say they might enjoy a bike ride on it, but those living right next to it are worried that random people will start trespassing onto their property, throwing trash everywhere and stealing. So they're suing the government in hopes of being compensated for all the trouble this rail trail has caused them, and it's a huge legal mess. Obviously, rail fans are sad to see this historic section of line be destroyed. Personally, I wish that the Saluda Grade would have been restored and used as a testing track to experiment with the capabilities of different locomotives and provide critical data to improve and build better engines. It's sad to see the Saluda Grade be destroyed, but at least we'll still have the footprint of it. Now for some freight rail news. The Union Pacific has reached an agreement to acquire Norfolk Southern in an $85 billion deal and merge to create a transcontinental railroad, sparking every rail fan's imagination like never before. In a nutshell, some people think that this merger could lower shipping costs and compete heavily with trucking companies, leading to lower prices overall. Others fear this merger could turn Union Pacific into a monopoly, and railroad employees fear for their job security. But remember, the Surface Transportation Board still has to approve this deal, so the merger isn't a guarantee yet. Now for more Union Pacific news. A heritage unit numbered 1616 has been painted in honor of President Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln was a big promoter of rail travel, and he signed the Pacific Railway Act of 1862 that ultimately led to the construction of the Transcontinental Railroad. Number 1616 has a paint scheme inspired by the famous 440 Rogers, number 119, that was present at the driving of the Golden Spike. 1616 also features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the cab, and the number 1616 is derived from the fact that Abraham Lincoln was the 16th president. And Norfolk Southern unveiled another heritage unit, numbered 1080. 1080 is an EMD SD70 Ace, painted in the Delaware and Hudson lightning stripe paint scheme. Norfolk Southern said they would like to thank the Delaware and Hudson Historical Society as well as the skilled craftsmen at the Juniata shop for making this heritage unit possible. And in Old Fort, North Carolina, the Southern Railway loops are being restored. Norfolk Southern has made the decision to reopen the Asheville district between Salisbury and Asheville. This also opens the potential for Amtrak to expand NC by train service into Asheville as part of the Connect US plan. R.J. Corman track crews have been working to restore them, and the entire S-line will soon be operational. It'll be great to see the loops back open again after being abandoned for a few years. Tune in next time for more Dogs, Trains, Rail reports. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.